Well, hello, Miss Yuan. First of all, it's so nice to meet you. I hope everything's fine. And we are so happy to have you here in Think Tomorrow series. So I'm just going ahead.
Teşekkür ederim ve memnun oldum. I'm also delighted to meet up with you, Deniz Hanım, and also to learn about the Think Tomorrow initiative and how you are trying to turn around a very difficult and desperate situation at the moment. And thank you for your interest in the Austrian Cultural Forum and our work here in Turkey.
Of course, thank you. So I guess culture is the most effective way to get people into different worlds, and you're contributing to this journey um, between Turkey and Austria for more than 50 years with Culture from Austria. And to be more specific, what is the primary mission of the Culture from Austria?
You already mentioned it. We are part of the Austrian Foreign Service, of the Austrian Foreign Ministry. And our mission is to promote Austrian culture abroad. We are one of many forums that are connected to our diplomatic service all over the world. Our mission is not just to show the strong culture and present the cultural traditions of Austria abroad, our music, our history, things that people associate with Austria when they think of Austria, but to also show that we are a country with very innovative, creative people, with a very vibrant culture that benefits from, all the people who live in our country, all the cultural traditions that have come together in our country over time. And to show that we have a lot to offer in dialogue and in a very respectful way of exchanging with other parts of the world. So in essence, that's what our mission is about.
So you said sharing the music history, but you were doing this in person, right? In the past. But now we are entering a new world order, and digital world is becoming essential in every field. So what do you think about exchanging cultures in the digital world?
You are also speaking to some of the very gifted young musicians and musical talents from Austria and from other places, and they will have told you, yes, the digital world has great potential, but the life experience is still very important. This connection between people is very important. And I think when it comes to music, when it comes to the performing arts, that will remain very, very important. And the digital world probably cannot replace that connection. But what the digital world offers us is a possibility to make it accessible for wider audiences. So now that we are hoping that we can open our cultural forum again for live performance in a few months' time, the COVID situation in Turkey permitting and artists being able to travel again, we are thinking about, first of all, we probably can only give access to half the audience for some time, for security reasons and health reasons. We are thinking about streaming the concerts at the same time, to give more people the chance to participate. This is something we are discussing. It will not replace the live ambience, I think, and to project the same atmosphere, or the same atmosphere probably is not even possible to project. It requires a high input of technology and data transfer. And that involves very high costs to produce a broadcast in a professional way of a classical concert, of a jazz concert. I think this involves costs that blow our budget altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So we see it when it comes to music and performing arts, we see it as a supplement. We can also think about other ways of introducing the artists to broader audiences. For example, telling their story, accompanying their musical journey. What you will find on our social media channel at the moment, for example, is a very nice clip from a young duo from Austria who traveled to Turkey just before COVID started. They went to Eskişehir, they played in Istanbul, they were in Antakya. And they love Turkey, and they made sound recordings even, and hopefully we will have parts of what is recorded on an album very soon. So to make people accompany them throughout Turkey, for example, to give them the opportunity to listen to their experiences, is also a possibility to reach other audiences. But we are fully aware that this requires a lot of technological input and a high level of professionalism, and it requires more skills and different skills than what we have in the Austrian Cultural Forum. And where budgets involved are probably as high as annual budgets that we have for bringing people to play live. And then there are other fields. For example, let's take literature, Austrian literature in German language. Many universities in Turkey, across Turkey, and we are not just doing cultural work in Istanbul, we are working across the country. They have institutes, faculties where students learn German. And with the time that authors, for example, can bring to coming to Turkey, they have maybe 4 or 5 days to come here for readings. And most of the time they only come to Istanbul. So the digital world offers us the opportunity to make these lectures and make these exchanges more accessible. For example, now during the pandemic phase 1, a young Austrian author we wanted to bring to Istanbul in June. She could not come. We recorded her lecture, we subtitled it, and then, for example, the German faculty of Ege University in Izmir, they organized an online direct exchange with the author via an internet platform. And we would not have had the time to bring the author to Izmir because she only had 4 days. So this is also something we want to do in the future, and hopefully also with more and more universities plugging their students or giving their students the opportunity to participate in lectures, in talks via the internet. We will have the possibility to reach out to different audiences and to reach young people across Turkey who are interested in Austrian literature, but who would not have the opportunity otherwise to travel to Istanbul and participate in these events. So these are just 2 examples. And I also think that for expert talks on architecture, on artificial intelligence, on digital arts, etc., you can really reach out and have other people listen to you. When you're in a mega city like Istanbul, going to an event somewhere involves a lot of time investment. You're on the road in traffic for 2 hours. and you just miss out because you say, I can't be bothered after work to drive all the way to listen to this person for 2 hours. But I would, sit at home and tune on and follow this talk and participate in the discussion, maybe from the comfort of my living room for a while. So there is potential as well.
Yes, so you're promoting the human touch, but for right now, you're suggesting that the performing arts or these kind of events, cultural exchange, will need to give different experiences to its audience because of the COVID-19. So, what kind of new activities or innovations could we possibly think in the field of digital entertainment to encourage cultural exchange even better, like besides the live streams?
Mm. I think talks with artists, behind the scenes experiences
Oh, behind the
where,
scenes.
where an audience online, they are given the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to directly engage with an artist, to
Yes.
give an audience time to talk to a musician, for
Mm-hmm.
example, to speak to a composer about about their journey, for example,
Mm-hmm.
to engage with an author directly, face to face. That is, I think, that is a possibility. One project that we are trying now, actually, we're supporting two young lady musicians, jazz musicians from Austria. They're in the process of, they want to do a remote composing process together with Turkish musicians. So it will be I don't know which platform they're using, but via video talks, they will be developing a piece of music together and they will be recording together remotely.
Oh, that is
And
interesting.
all of this will be documented in video as well. So this is one of the projects that we have started or are about to start now in the fall. But we then hope that the COVID situation will improve to give us an opportunity to present the result of this digital
Mm-hmm.
project live to audiences. So we see it, we in an ideal world, in a healthy world where we have beaten the virus at some point, we can bring people together again.
Well, you said smaller audiences with this COVID situation. So how we can benefit it from this situation actually?
Uh, to, for example, when you're able to supplement the life experience, then
Mm-hmm.
instead of, for example, if you have you will have heard some festivals and theaters in Europe, in Austria, they have come back. The Salzburg Festival at the moment, they are offering 50% of their performances with half the audience, but they're going ahead. It's a very important signal for the cultural world and for the cultural life. And I think when we are able to resume cultural events, indoor events in Turkey, we will have to do the same. We cannot fill up the room 100%. People will have to be seated in a distant way, in very well ventilated rooms. And that will mean that probably only half the people who could come and attend a concert will be able to go. Maybe we can supplement it by doing 2 concerts 2 days in a row, but we are also thinking of a digital add-on. We see it as an add-on. But
Mm-hmm.
here it is really also a challenge for us to see how we can finance that, because as you know, people are pretty much zoomed out after 4 months of COVID, and everybody spends hours and hours in video conferences with poor connections, and this is not what they're watching when the workday is done and they get out of a video conference to watch the next video. It has to be something very special, and something very special is not that cheap, you know, and money is very scarce for that. But yeah.
Well, lastly, I want to ask this. I'm really curious about this, actually. So, do you think can this new situation bring a new culture? Like we had traditions, especially in Turkey, like, and we are not doing our old traditions anymore, and everything's online. Offices are disappearing. So I think maybe we can have a new kind of culture out of this.
We have to try. We have to try, and it should be a culture that is not just a swipe, you know, because I think that's the challenge for us, you know, that
Yes.
it's not something that you consume quickly and it's just with a swipe it's gone, or you zap, like you zap on your television.
Yeah. Actually,
I
that's the
think that's the
problem.
huge challenge for us to really engage and to learn how to listen to each other and to talk to each other and not getting tired from it very easily, because that's also that
Yes.
I think that's, and probably it's also an experience you made, that it's all the same. There's all the setup. You sit in front of a phone screen or a laptop screen for hours. And even if it's a relaxed conversation with a friend, it feels different after 2 hours than when you spend two hours with a friend in a coffee shop, face to face. So it will require a different level of attention and a different level of care, and a willingness to really relate and not just see this as something that is very, how do you say? Yeah, something that is just an in-between thing, you know, but that you have bring the same level of respect and engagement to the conversation like you would when you are with somebody face to face, live in a room.
It is so different. Yeah, right now we are consuming differently everything. It's not just, I don't know, even our conversations, like they have changed. And yeah, I think it's just about getting used to that. And as you said, it's just getting not tired of this. Yeah.
You know, we between March and June, we tried as much as we could, because we were not used to that. We're in a way a very we're like a theater or a concert place. You know, people come to enjoy the building. It's an old palais on the Bosporus. For many people in Istanbul, it feels like a small holiday when they come to Yeniköy, where we are. And they enjoy the totality of the atmosphere, you know, the grandeur of an old building, the chandelier, the live music, and it's a transporting experience to some extent. And this is something you cannot compensate that easily. So I think that will be back. That will definitely be back. And we try to offer movies, for example. We had to create our own streaming platform, which was not easy. But for some of the movies we want to offer, and all our programs are free of charge, you know, everything is for free. We don't charge money. It was quite a challenge to making that work and offering the independent, young, new Austrian movies to wider audiences in Turkey. We had to really develop that from scratch, to do these online lectures. But the nicer the weather became, and summer became close, and people dared going outside again, we noticed that even these programs that were, you know, got quite a good acceptance rate at the beginning, the interest was getting lower. And maybe we also have to wait for the cold and miserable weather later in the year for people to pay attention to these kind of programs. Because at the moment, I think the rate between what you invest and what people really follow, it's not a good ratio. We try to now bridge the summer with small social media stories, with some snippets of literature and music. We created our own Spotify list with young Austrian music. So we're still in the process of trying and learning also about this new approach to presenting Austrian culture in its many forms and ways.
Well, it is a new process, but I believe we can do this. And also in this cultural exchange, it's just with your help and culture from Austria. And also we had a great conversation with Gobario actually. So you're just eager to do something with to the society and contribute something. So as long as we have that courage, it will be fine.
I share your optimism in that way. We want to bring something to this, and we want people to have a positive lookout and a positive perspective, and to partake in different perspectives on society and how it develops, and also to have them discover beauty in a way, you know, and discover the beauty of new talent, of people who have fresh ideas, who bring a new perspective to life, be they musicians, be they dancers, be they authors, be they people creating digital art, for example, who are often, they're sort of at sort of the crossroads of arts and technology, and developing new approaches to economy, and bringing sustainability to the way we live. And we want to be a platform for that. Live, digital, whatever we can contribute to that.
That's so nice. And I know we will get used to this, and we will exchange our cultures. And also, as you said, we will need the human touch eventually, because I think it is our needs. Like, it is our foundation. So thank you very much sharing your experiences with us. It was delightful to have a conversation with you. And yeah, thank you.
Well, I thank you and the Think Tomorrow project for reaching out to the Austrian Culture Forum, and for being part of making this new world work somehow. Çok teşekkür ederim.
Thank you.